Well, Alice Beer is here now to tell us exactly what's going on. So what's the new system? How does it work?
OK, so this was announced by George Osborne in the budget last July, that as from April the 1st this year, everyone, the lowest paid in this country, would now be entitled to a national living wage. So that's £7.20 an hour. Used to be £6.70, so 50p an hour more, which over the year, that notional increase should mean that most people are getting just over £1,000 in their pay packet, which is great. Now, of course, this has implications across everybody. Consumers are going to see things that are labour intensive, maybe price increases. We might have to pay for our home deliveries, our grocery deliveries, more automated scanning at the checkouts. Lots of implications for consumers. Huge implications for companies, as you've said. They suddenly have a massive pay challenge to find that money from somewhere. But what the whole point of this was to give the lowest paid in this country more money in their bank accounts. And that, as you've said, we haven't been seeing that. It hasn't been fair across the board. So some companies have been giving with one hand, giving the national living wage, because that's illegal, they have to do that, and taking away with the other. So let's have a look at what are the companies that we looked into. Some of the companies have been taking away perks. So at Eat, for example, employees will no longer get a 30-minute paid break. If you work out what that means to them in financial terms, employees are saying that's £936 a year they'll be worse off.
Almost automatically knocks out that nearly £1,000.
Negates what they were getting. Eat do say they are now paying the national living wage for all their staff. It only should apply to 25 and up. They're paying it to everybody. So they're saying they're making things fair in other angles, from other directions. ZZ used to give their staff a large choice of food at lunchtime. You know, they're in the retail, they're in the hospitality business. They offer their staff a large choice of food. Now that's been massively reduced. The cost to the employees calculate £520 a year worse off. ZZ say it's still discounted, but now it's discounted to all staff. So they have made it more fair for others. Cafe Nero used to offer a free panini. That doesn't sound much. They're taking away the free panini. £364 over the year. It's still eating into that chunk.
Adds up, doesn't it?
Exactly. Now, where it's more significant, has a bigger impact, is where companies are taking away premium payments. So if you used to get time and a half on a Sunday or double time on a bank holiday, we're seeing that disappearing. Many companies never gave it in the first place, so these companies have tied it all in with the introduction of national living wage. B&Q. They have removed time and a half for Sundays and double pay for bank holidays for all their old staff and some annual bonuses. And this is having a significant impact. We've spoken earlier to one employee of B&Q, and he's told us what he's noticed about his wage packet from April the 1st this year.
My calculations, my hourly rate before the new legislation come in was £7.28 an hour, and it's now been increased to £7.66. So yes, I've had a pay rise, but my allowances for Sunday premium, bank holiday working, summer and winter bonus, they've been removed. The net result of my pay packet is I will be over £1,000 worse off a year.
It just seems so unfair, doesn't it? How can they do that? Well,
it is unfair, and George Osborne himself has said that is not within the spirit of this law. That is not what it was intended to do. MP Siobhan McDonough has introduced, she called a backbenchers debate about this, to say these companies shouldn't be doing this. They shouldn't be giving with one hand and taking away with the other. And B&Q are not the only company to do it. But it is. It's really unfair that what this was supposed to do was put more money in the pocket of these people. And our whistleblower told us this morning this is what it felt like to him.
It feels like a kick in the teeth for long-standing staff that have been there and given loyalty, you know, for many, many years. Me personally, I'm just a tip of the iceberg. I feel that I've been, you know, given it from one hand and taken from another. It's not within the spirit of the law, but it is illegal.
Is it legal?
Is it legal?
It is legal, and there's nothing that an employee can do about it. B&Q say that they have many legitimate business reasons to implement these changes. They're bringing contracts into line so everyone's being paid the same. So whilst it might be massively unfair for some people, it will be more fair for others. And what they are offering is a 2-year compensation package to tide people over to get used to this adjustment in salary.
The trouble is, though, I mean, if you look at it, it was sadly inevitable that this was going to happen because the British Retailers Consortium claims that retailers will have to find up to £3 billion more a year to pay staff by 2020 and say that the only alternative is to push increased costs onto the consumer by increasing prices. And then inevitably, the Office for Budget Responsibility says 60,000 jobs could be lost by 2020. I mean, it's cause and effect, isn't it? Although that's what you desperately want, to lift up that wage for people who should certainly need it, then there is going to be an effect.
There are companies, though, like Pret, Pret a Manger, who said, under no circumstances will we take away perks. Aldi has said we're putting up all staff wages are £8.40 minimum rate for all staff. Lidl £8.20 for all staff.
So
London
they can do it, why can't the
£9.35.
other ones then?
Exactly, and some people have taken a really positive attitude and said what we need to do is improve productivity, better training, better management. Let's make every worker for every hour count more, and that's really quite.
So does this mean that this is an initial reaction, a knee-jerk reaction to the new proposals, and that eventually it will get ironed out and it will become fairer?
Well, it's fair for some people and not fair for others, and that's going to
I just think if you
continue.
have a happy workforce where you've got people that are feeling really happy to be at work because they've got this increase, but then to take away things, I just think that what good does that do?
It's not fair on them, and who's going to notice
it
in
has
the
an
retail
effect.
sector when there's unhappy workers?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
The customer.
Not very well thought through.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.